There's so many things you could do with marketing campaigns, understanding user intent, figuring out like do they need to pick up the phone and call right now, or is this the kind of person that needs to look at a internet page and make a decision? Is the sales cycle like 30 days? They got to kick around the idea for a month before they decide to pick up the phone. That's all on you. That's something you got to kind of understand and wrap your head around. And this has to do with like every type of marketing. So pay-per-call is no different. So what I want to do is I want to set up a mental health campaign showing you how I do it. And I'm just going to kind of externalize my thoughts as I do it. Real quick, Paylow is where we're getting our offers. And if you're looking at this training now, you have approval to run offers on Paylow. This is just kind of a 7-day snapshot of like some of the raw stuff that I've been running. If we jump into the campaigns real quick, you can see that I have a bunch of stuff approved. Some things I've ran in the past, some things I'm running now. Today's the weekend, so today is Saturday, February 11th. I'm not running anything, which I don't know. I should be running something, running 24/7, but at this time I'm not. I'm a human being. It's just the way it is. Life gets in the way. You get focused on other things. You just can't run paid call traffic all the time. So what I want to do is, if you haven't applied for the mental health treatment offer, you can come up to apply to new campaigns. And it should be in the section of campaigns that you're not approved to run, okay? Since I already have it, we can do it. So let's go view campaigns real quick. Let's look at mental health. I just kind of want to run down this real quick. So what we're looking at here is a $252 payout with a 3.5 minute duration. This campaign you can run 24/7, which is really nice. There are some things that you need to look at in terms of what's going to keep a person on the phone for 3.5 minutes. One, they need to have the right insurance. Now, you got to understand the buyer, which is the call center, the people that are actually picking up the phone to talk to the traffic that you're sending, are going to discover really fast whether the people that are calling have insurance or not, the right kind of insurance. They need to have private insurance or an HMO, which is private insurance is going to be something through like an employer, and HMO is something that's kind of like through an employer as well, but maybe a little more specific, like Kaiser, Blue Cross Blue Shield, those kinds of things where they have their own hospitals. A PPO, private insurance, is something that's going to be like Anthem Blue Cross or Dignity or United Healthcare, things where it's like you have insurance and you can go to any doctor you want, pretty much. This is like the premium insurance right here. These are the guys that get screwed by the Medi-Cals and the Medicares and the Medicaids of the world. I won't get into that in too much detail. But what I like about this program, this campaign, is they're only looking for people that have insurance and they need to get some sort of mental health treatment, not necessarily depression. If you come over here and you click on types of disorders, you can come over here and see like the federal government's National Institute of Health website, and they give a list of like crazy disorders that you could look at. Each one of these could be its own campaign. You could build a business off of each one of these keyword phrases, okay, or these topics. It's really up to you as a marketer to find one that you feel comfortable digging deep down into and doing the research, right? Because some of these things aren't going to necessarily have the kind of intent that you're looking for that's going to work well with this offer, right? Like, for example, post-traumatic stress disorder, that's a good one, but what you're going to end up with a lot of military veterans that already have TRICARE health insurance that aren't interested in going to a 30-day outpatient or inpatient mental health treatment center in like Florida or California, right? They may be suffering, but they're probably not interested in going to this private, institution. So you got to kind of find the healthy middle ground. What I found that has worked personally for me is depression and anxiety. There's a lot of people out there that are severely depressed, that even suicide kind of pushes you over a little bit because you can get some false flags there with the calls, because people, they're suicidal, and the buyer the person picking up the phone, the call center, would prefer to send you to like a suicide hotline so you can get that kind of treatment, as opposed to like, hey, you need to come to us for inpatient treatment. So you may be able to game it a little bit and get the durations over 3.5 minutes, because they get warm transferred to a suicide hotline. And that's not going to pay out. It will initially. You'll see it. You'll be like, all right, I made money on that. But then they're going to go back and go, nah, dude, that wasn't really a legit call. We're looking for legit calls, right? If you want to stay in business here, don't try to game the system. Just try to really think of it from like, how can I add value to this whole thing? Like, how can I really get these people help and get them to the right place? That's going to keep the buyers buying your calls, right? And that's what's most important about the sustainability of running a campaign, is when you get marketers, when you get publishers that are really only interested in the short term, they're going to do everything they can to make a little bit of money. But the buyers are going to be pissed off because you're sending shit traffic, or you figured out kind of a way to keep somebody on the phone. And as a result of that, they're just not going to want to do business with you anymore, which means your life as a marketer is going to suffer hardcore, because nobody is going to like you. I'm not going to like you if you do that. So I want you to kind of get through the mindset. Like, listen, you're here to help. Okay. The reward for helping is the payout. Okay. If your mind is constantly focused on just like, how can I drive up a 3.5 minute duration? I don't care how it happens, but how can I do that so I can get paid? You're probably going to lose here. And that's with any decent marketing platform where you want to do business long-term with somebody. So, what I'm thinking here, eating disorders is another big one. I don't know if that's in here. Yeah, eating disorders. So these are people typically, what I like about eating disorders is, it's pretty predictable who this person is. It's going to be like probably a female, and most likely it's going to be the daughter of some concerned parents, right? So, that's how you would deliver, your marketing message for eating disorders. A lot of times you're not going to find a person going, you know what, I have an eating disorder, I need to get help. It happens, but most of the time it's like somebody in the family that's identified a problem and they're looking for treatment options. That's another good reason. This is another good reason to hit eating disorders, is because you're looking for somebody. You can target a parent, like a mother or a father who's concerned, most likely a mother who is concerned about their daughter, and they're looking for more information. So they're in the research phase, but you can get them on the phone and get them talking after they verify their benefits. And that's a legit lead in my book, because another thing you need to consider is not everybody who's picking up the phone and calling is intent on like enrolling in 30-day rehab, right? Most of the time, that's not the case. You cannot ask for marriage on the first date. So if we can get them on the phone answering questions, and they're qualified with their verification of the benefits, then we have what I consider a qualified lead. It's the responsibility of the buyer and the call center to do something with that traffic later, okay? Our job is to just deliver something that's got some intent. So eating disorders is a good one. I think I want to, depression's a good one. Anxiety is a good one. PTSD, I never really had much luck with that, but I know some people who have. This kind of offer too, when we get into it a little bit more, I have my notes here, but this kind of offer too, when we get into it a little bit more, you're going to find that you have different ways of approaching mental health. You can send them to a lander first if you want, pixel them, and then get them into a funnel and just kind of retarget them until they're ready. That you're gonna have cheaper traffic. That way, because you can pull from lower intent traffic sources like Facebook and Bing and Yahoo Gemini. Hell, you could do anything. You could even go to like Zero Park and use some of their traffic too, because I think they have some search traffic over there. You can go with Google AdWords click to call. But, if you go that route, it's going to have to be pretty cheap traffic, because even if you're bidding on inpatient depression rehab, that's still going to run you like $10 or $15 per click, and your ROI might not be there, because it may take more than $252 worth of calls to find that conversion that way. So with a mental health treatment offer like this one, what I would tend to do is go broad. with my keyword phrases and send as much cheap traffic as possible. There's no IVR here, and if you want to know what an IVR is kind of like that phone tree that you experience when you pick up the phone and you call somebody, and there's like a recording and it says like press 1 to go here, press 2 to go here, press 3 to go here. That's an IVR. And with this offer, we don't have that. So when somebody calls, it goes directly to a human being, and it's up to that human being to qualify them. And I'm telling you right now, with the mental health treatment, the first thing they ask for is like, what's your insurance? And if they don't have the right insurance, the phone call will last no longer than a minute. You're going to find that most people are looking for help here with the traffic. So that's good news. The bad news is most of them aren't qualified. Most of the people have like some form of like state or federal, like cheap, free federal health insurance that's not covered. Because this is like a facility, it's a private facility in like Florida or California. I think they do some local stuff too, but for the most part, your private insurance has to pay for this if you want to go. I guess that's a good thing because insurance could be disqualified in some cases. So we're lucky here. We're lucky we can find those people. So finding people that want to go isn't so much the problem with this offer. It's finding people who are qualified to go. Some other things to consider, so these are all good things. These are the things I like to see. So nationwide, 24/7, $252, pretty nice payout. We're going to be looking for people who are qualified, so a little more affluent. We want to kind of avoid the poor people in this case, because most poor people don't have PPO insurance or HMO insurance. This kind of entails that you have a job, probably a decent job, and a person with a decent job is going to have the right insurance. Of course, the catch-22 there also is you're not going to have as many people that are like, I need to get into inpatient treatment because I have a job. There's a catch-22 to everything, you're going to find out. That's what makes a good marketer, is somebody who can kind of figure out how to navigate the catch-22s in the world, because every campaign's got them. So I think with this example, what I want to target is, and this is a gut feeling right now. I'm not going to make a firm decision until we get into the spy tools and start looking at things a little bit more. But my guess is we're going to look at either depression and anxiety or eating disorders, serious eating disorders that require inpatient treatment.